Well, for more, let's bring in Fabrice Epelboin. He's a tech and social media expert and a lecturer at Sciences Po University here in Paris. It's so good to have you with us on the program.
Thanks for having me.
So this feud has been ongoing for months now, and it's been a bit of a war of words. How did this all begin, and what are the two sides each arguing?
Well, it all began when Elon Musk, right after having taken control of Twitter, released some internal communication within Twitter and gave them to Glenn Greenwald, who is well known for being behind the Snowden affair. And those communications showed that during President Bolsonaro's legacy, the legal system in Brazil censored many Bolsonaro's militants and fans. And was doing some interference, clearly, in Brazil's democratic system. And it ended up by, well, as of today, censorship of Twitter in Brazil.
Now, the X platform is said to be used by at least a tenth of the nation's 200 million inhabitants. That's an enormous amount of people. Do we have an idea of how long this ban is going to stay in place? And do you see the dispute being settled anytime soon?
No, I don't think the dispute is going to be settled anytime soon. There is a similar dispute in the United States called the Twitter files that shows that during the Trump administration, the American administration was censoring Republicans and elected officials from the Republican Party, and many sensitive information that could have had a huge impact on Biden's election. And it has been confirmed that Mark Zuckerberg to the American Senate two days ago. So this is a global censorship affair that had taken place before Musk took control over Twitter, and that is today revealed. It's a problem. It's a major problem for democracies, whether it's Brazilian democracy or the American democracy, and probably European democracies.
And it's become a debate of freedom of speech, hasn't it? You know, it's like misinformation versus censorship, because it calls into question, obviously, to what extent social media platforms should prioritize free speech and how to regulate misinformation. How does this recent incident highlight these concerns, in your opinion?
Freedom of speech is an American concept. It has no place in European democracy. It's important, but it's not central. It's not the First Amendment. And the same situation is in Brazil. So this is clearly the American values being exported worldwide. It's a problem. It should be taken like this. It's the United States, the old way of seeing the United States, the First Amendment of the American Constitution, being exported worldwide. And been like that since the very beginning of Twitter, since the Green Revolution in Iran, since the Arab Spring. The Americans have been exporting the First Amendment worldwide using social network. It's still like that, and Musk is doing exactly the same thing. The value of the First Amendment is very different now. The Republicans are still very keen on preserving the First Amendment, but the Democrats are not that keen on preserving the First Amendment. So things are changing in the United States, and therefore they're changing worldwide.
All right, and now the finances of a second Musk business, the SpaceX Starlink satellite internet service, has also been frozen. Could you tell us a bit about this and what kind of implications it may have for Brazil?
Well, the Brazilian military rely on Starlink to communicate, just like Ukrainian, just like many military worldwide. They need Starlink to establish communication. So Musk could theoretically stop every means of communication for the army in Brazil. Nobody knows if he's going to go that far, but he could play this game.
All right, Fabrice Epelboin from Sciences Po, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us and for your analysis.